Hi, my name is Jamie Frazier, and after successfully installing a network upgrade for a company's client, I've been asked to perform another cybersecurity service for them. They hired a consultant to install and configure a new server in their internal network to support production and operations, and they've asked me to determine the vulnerabilities of the new production server and provide specific examples of how any vulnerabilities could be exploited. Let me show you what I found. This is Project C by Jamie Frazier. Our objectives were to install the production server, enumerate possible vulnerabilities for the production and the web server, exploit two vulnerabilities for production and web servers, create a user account on the production server with root permissions, search for interesting files as a bonus to crack passwords for the users on the production server, and last but not least, give recommendations for improvement on their security. This is our network diagram, and as you can see on the left in the trusted network, we have installed the production server, and in the middle in the DMZ is the web server. Now these are the two servers that I will be running scans on to find possible vulnerabilities and also run some exploits. Okay, here I used Nmap to scan for vulnerabilities on the production server. And on the right over here, you can see I used the Nmap command with the script vuln to find an extensive list of vulnerabilities. And the first one that I found is the VSFTPD backdoor vulnerability. And the second one I found over here on the bottom left is a CSRF vulnerability. And right here, I have opened Metasploit and searched for the VSFTPD backdoor exploit and ran it. And as you can see on the bottom here, I easily got in. I have root privileges right here. The UID and the GID are 0. It opened a shell for me, and I was able to start going through their files. These are the files I found on the production server. On the bottom left here, you can see I found a safe combination. Not very safe to save your safe combination in a text file. So another thing that I found was a recipe on the top right. We have a recipe for what could be barbecue sauce or something. I don't know. But on the bottom right here, I downloaded all of these. Right here is the second exploit that I did, which was the CSRF exploit. I searched it in Metasploit, and I used number 2 over here on the right, the HTTP client MS credential relayer. And on the bottom left, you can see that I started it, or I exploited it, and the server was started, letting me know that I have successfully ran this exploit. Here is the web server. So this is the Nmap scan that I did for the web server. On the bottom left here, I used the script vuln scan again to get the extensive list of the vulnerabilities that I could exploit. And of course, the first one here is the same as the other one. It's a backdoor, the VSFTPD backdoor. Says it is vulnerable and exploitable. Over on the right here, the second exploit that I did was the HTTP slow loris, the DDoS attack. The next thing I did was create a new user on the production server. I used the user add -r command, and then I put my name as the username. So user add -r Jamie. And then I did password Jamie to put in my password, my new password. I set the password for it. And on the bottom here, I made sure I had root permission. So I did the user mod -g root Jamie. And to check to see if I had root permissions, I did ID Jamie. And you can see that my GID is 0 or root, and my groups is 0 or root. So I created my own user account with root privileges. Over on the right here, you can see that my name is the last in the list for the users to prove that I actually was able to successfully create a new user. Here, I started using John the Ripper for cracking passwords. I had a little fun with this one, but it was a little tricky on my first try. So up here on the top left, I, of course, first downloaded my passwords file and my shadow file. And I had to use the command unshadow with my passwords file and my shadow file to create the file that John the Ripper was going to use. So I combined everything basically into a file named my passwords. And down here, I used John my passwords to start decrypting the passwords for the users. Over on the right is an easily readable version of what it found. These are the users on the right side of this picture right here, and the passwords over on the left. Now, the file that it actually gives you when you're done, you can open, and it's not as easily readable. So I put this one here so you could easily see what we did. And as you can see, my name or my username right here is Jamie, and my password is hello. Now we move on to the backdoor for the web server. We're going over to the web server now. I did the same thing in Metasploit. I searched the VSFTPD exploit, and on the bottom right, you can see after running it, I successfully gained root access, and it opened a command shell for me. So digging through their files, I was able to find this file over on the left, and it had a bunch of different people's names, addresses, birth dates, and social security numbers. So this is something that should be protected, but they're not. The next exploit that I did on the web server was called the Slow Loris DDoS attack. And over on the left, you can see that I've used Metasploit to set it up. And on the right, you can see that I've started it. So this is after exploiting this vulnerability. It sent a bunch of packets all at the same time. It says here 150 at a time it sent, and I let it run for about 10 minutes, which should have caused the denial of service attack. So my recommendations for improvement for both servers would be to keep the software up to date, use an antivirus, keep minimal ports open, use anti-forgery tokens, use appropriate response headers, and use hardware load balancers that accept only complete HTTP connections, as well as use the mod rec timeout to set timeouts for request headers. Okay. Hold on just a second, and I'd like to give you a live demonstration of how easily it is to exploit one of these vulnerabilities using Metasploit. Okay. Here on this screen, this is the Kali Linux that's on the trusted network. And I've already ran a Nmap scan for the vulnerabilities on the production server. So this is it over here on the left. As you can see, it's a very, very extensive list of different vulnerabilities it went over to show me what I could exploit or what could be exploited. Okay. But the first thing we're going to look at is the backdoor. Over on the right, we're going to open Metasploit. And I'll show you just how easily exploited this backdoor is on the production server. It needs to be fixed. Give it just a second to start up. Okay, so Metasploit has started. And we are going to search for the VSFTPD backdoor. It found one. So we are going to use this one that it found. And we need to set our hosts up here for the production server's IP address. Just to show you it's been set. There you go. And now we're going to run it or exploit it. And it has almost instantly created this backdoor and given me root access. It says it found a shell and opened it. Let me show you just to make sure. So who am I? I am root. The name of the server is the production server or Metasploitable in this case. Let's go through and dig a little bit and show you what I can see. I can see a lot of stuff. So right here, we're going to go to MSF admin and see what we can find. Let's go to stuff. And right here's the safe combination. As you can see, it'll display it right here. Let's see if we can download it. Here, I'll put it in the root folder. Done. That's how easy it is to get into this backdoor exploit and download a file. So we need to fix a couple things on their security there. And if you just follow my recommendations, then hopefully the production server will be a lot more secure for you. Thank you for watching.